Welcome to part 2 of this video on Shakespeare and the theme of marriage. We're now going to look at some examples of marriage from Measure for Measure. Examples of the way in which marriage is presented. Obviously I'm talking about Measure for Measure specifically here, but all of the themes and techniques that I'm going to talk about are relevant to all of your set texts. So we're just going to briefly look at marriage and the law, and we're going to look at the idea of happy endings. Let's just look at a few examples of the way in which marriage is presented through the eyes of the law. Angelo says, "Is this her fault or mine? The tempter or the temptress? Who sins most, huh?" And so this is Angelo trying to work out who has the blame for him being attracted to Isabella. And so here he's using the language of the law to talk about love and sexual attraction. Blame and culpability for love is a major theme of the play. For example, Angelo is sentenced to death for loving his girlfriend Juliet. Because she is pregnant, they have sex before marriage, and so is sentenced to death. And so this is perhaps mocking the strict Puritans of Shakespeare's time, who had ridiculously high moral standards, and they actually closed the theatres during Shakespeare's time because they thought theatres was too scandalous. And so this kind of extreme morality could be mocking that. Another example of the language of the law being used to describe love and marriage is when the Duke says, "His unjust unkindness, that in all reason should have quenched her love, hath like an impediment in the current made it more violent and unruly." And so here he's talking about Angelo's previous unjust behaviour to Mariana. Mariana lost her dowry in a ship accident, and he was going to marry her, but once she lost her dowry, Angelo dumped her. So you can see, again, like we were talking about in The Taming of the Shrew, Angelo was marrying Mariana for money, and when she lost her money, he didn't want to marry her anymore. And again, the Duke is using the language of the law, words like unjust, to talk about this. Isabella, this is probably one of the most famous and technically interesting speeches of the play. Isabella says, "That Angelo's forsworn, is it not strange? That Angelo's a murderer, is it not strange? That Angelo is an adulterous thief, a hypocrite, a virgin violator, is it not strange and strange?" And here, Isabella is using rhetoric, which is the techniques and skill of public speaking, which was commonly used in law courts, so the language of barristers and... Hey
guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're looking for an amazing A-level English literature resource, join me today in my series of engaging bite-sized video tutorials. Together, we will concisely cover all the important concepts required by your exam board specification, as well as practically apply what we have learnt through exam-style questions, focusing on how best to structure your answers in order to maximise marks. See you soon, and together, let's make A-level English literature a walk in the park.